Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, I know many people ask you questions when they're getting ready to sell their home. What are the top frequently asked questions home sellers should be asking before they put their home up for sale?
Well, it's interesting, Richard, because most people don't really keep their finger on the pulse on what's going on in the real estate market, right? So they might be relying on what's in the press, and we've seen a big change recently. It went from, real estate's flying high, multiple offers, and then when the Fed started raising interest rates, that came to a screeching halt. And at the same time, the investors like all these big box investors like BlackRock and some of these others quit buying, or their offers are coming in instead of over asking price 10, 15%, even more under asking price. So they that was a big buyer segment that dropped out of the real estate industry at the same time that the rates went up, which also kicked out many of the first-time home buyers that are very, very payment sensitive. So it's no longer the massive real estate boom that we had from 2020 through the beginning of 2022. But you will find high demand properties in any market. And it is still more of a seller's market. What that means is right now there's about 1.5 to 2 months of available homes on the market. I know that sounds funny, but basically if we put 500 homes on the market, it would take 1.5 months to sell them all in a perfect world. But it's only a seller's market if you get all of these factors right, if you get pricing right, if you get preparation right, and if you hire the right agent that knows how to properly promote the home, that is when you have the perfect situation. So question number one that I get probably most commonly is, what are the improvements that I need to do to get my home ready for sale? And this is something that we do many, many times during the week. We actually come out, we take a look at your home, we get the grand tour. And it's so funny, Richard, because some people are worried about my visit. They're like, no, she can't come over yet because my house isn't clean or it doesn't look perfect. And I get that feeling. I'm the same way when people come to my house. But for me, it doesn't matter. I'm not judging your home on that visit. I'm looking at how we could transform it to make it a sellable product. So you don't have to panic before our visit. It doesn't have to be perfect and perfectly fixed up yet. We will help you get there. But we'll give you tips on what to do, and more importantly, what not to do to get your house ready for sale. And then we'll give you a really good idea on how much your home will sell for, a good price range, and how much you'll put in your pocket when it sells. The number two question I get all the time is, what is my home worth? Okay. So unlike the boom, not every single home is selling. Pricing a home right is absolutely critical. Now, a lot of people use the reference of Zillow or some of these other online estimates of home value. These are automatic generalizations of a home's value without the knowledge of buyer demand and without the knowledge of the unique things in your home. Every home has something very special and unique about it, which could make it more high demand than another. So pricing it right takes an expert that really knows the market, knows what buyers love in the market, to decide kind of how to position the home to be the best home available when it does go on the market. And then we will do that. We look at the home's value. We need that for appraisal purposes. We also look at the similar competition. We need that to know, what does a buyer look at? Like, what can the buyer get right now in that price range? That helps us to decide a good pricing number. And we just had a client that did that perfectly well. We looked at similar sales. Before we did any repairs, we were looking at a lower number. And then after they did some repairs, it looked amazing, but she still priced it realistically And we had 101 people attend the 90-minute open house. I presented 9 offers to them, and she netted almost 10% over asking price, right? That's all the stars in line. That's setting the stage so the market makes their best offer. And that's what we do for sellers all the time. And it does require the perfect setup of number 1, preparation, getting your home ready for sale. Number 2, pricing it realistically versus optimistically. And number 3, hiring the right agent that knows how, where, and when to promote the home to get the home seller top dollar. Question number 3, how long will it take to sell my home? It really depends on those 3 things: preparation, pricing, and promoting. If everything's done right, my average actually is about 1 to 2 weeks. But the market's going to definitely leave clues if we didn't get pricing right. We know we're going to get preparation right, but if we didn't get pricing right, the market's going to tell you, and it's going to tell you based on the number of showings and the number of offers. If you're getting no showings or very, very few, we're way off on the price of what the market will command. If you're getting showings but no offers, you're just a tiny bit, maybe 3% off. And if you're getting a few offers or plenty of showings but no offers, it's a really tiny bit, like 1% is enough to really move the bar. If you're getting offers, you're in the ballpark, you're right there, stay there, don't worry about it. We're just waiting for the right buyer. Here's question number 4. How important is staging? So a lot of people don't really know what staging is. There's an automatic assumption that we're going to bring in a household full of furniture and make it look like a model home, but that's not always the case. Many people live in their homes, so what our stagers do is work with your furniture, your decorations, and help you decide on what to do with your stuff to make it show ready before we go on the market. And it might be putting stuff away, it might be moving furniture around, it might be decluttering a room here and there. The ones that are empty, many times we use technology to stage those homes digitally, and those look amazing. And the reason we do it is there's a certain segment of the population that if they look at an empty room, they can't figure out or they can't visualize themselves living there. There's no love to it. There's no homey feeling to it. And they cannot see the scale, like, will my couch and my love seat fit or not? I've just talked to a seller recently that told me, yeah, we put a contract on a house, and then after we were going to make an offer on it, but after we went and looked at it, we could see that the pictures made the room look bigger than it was. And we're like, oh, there's no way our furniture is going to fit in here. Now, buyers should not be buying homes just for their furniture, right? They should do it because they love the home. You can always make furniture work. But the key thing to preparing, staging, making the house look like a model is that you really don't want your house to be eliminated with online shoppers using their smartphone, because that's what they do. Studies show they spend less than a minute looking at homes online. And if you don't get it right in the first 8 pictures, they are moving on. And if you get bad pictures in there, they're moving on. If it looks cluttered, they're moving on. If it looks like it needs work, they are moving on. So we're going to help you do all those things to get as many buyers in the door as possible. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the host of Your Real Estate Voice and the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyers team. And right now we're talking about the top questions that home sellers should ask when getting ready for sale. Next up, we're going to be talking about some agent questions, putting them in the hot seat when it's time to interview agents. And if you are thinking of making a move in this market, give us a call. We'd love to give you a free in-home consultation on what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale. And also we'll show you our buyers that would be interested in your home, and we'll give you a really good idea on what it will sell for and how much you'll put in your pocket when it sells. So you can get that free service by going to barbhasthebuyers.com and clicking on Find My Buyer, or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
Barb, we're talking about the top questions that a home seller should ask when getting ready to sell the home. Everyone knows that I've been recommending you for years now. Tell us, what are some of the key questions that a home seller should be asking real estate agents?
Okay, so um, you know, people don't typically have a system for picking a real estate agent. A large majority of them definitely will call back the last agent that they used before if their experience was good. But here are the hard facts about the industry in general. 80% of the real estate agents get out of the business in 5 years. 81% of front range agents sell 3 or less homes a year. Okay, many are far less than that. So, a couple of good questions you should ask are, how many homes did you sell this year? Or maybe last year or in the past year? And a really kind of good intimidating question is, why should we pick you over all the other choices out there? I know that sounds tough and it's almost like a job interview question, but it is a job. It's a major project. You're going to be working with that person for several months, and they're going to be handling one of your largest assets. So you want to make sure you pick the right person for the job. Another good question is, how long of an agreement am I going to have to commit to? Now, I would say most agents are going to throw like 6 months in their agreement or something. Could be longer, maybe a year. But make sure you have a cancellation clause built in if you're not satisfied. There is one already built in the state contract, but it has to do with what they promise they will do, either verbally or in writing. And many times, even the state form doesn't say anything about what the agent will do in the state contract, other than I'm going to put the home in the MLS and put it on the internet. That is it. No other services are offered. I had a seller recently that called me on a home, and beautiful brand new home. And this former agent he was working with really didn't do some of the things that he promised to do. He wasn't satisfied. So after a month, he wanted out of the contract. Now, his contract didn't have any kind of clause in there that the people that looked at it during his listing period, he owned, and he would deserve a commission for those showings. In fact, that portion of the contract doesn't say that at all. It only applies to offers presented. However, it wasn't in there, but he wouldn't cancel the agreement with the seller unless he got them to sign off on that. And I was surprised the seller did sign off on it. It didn't matter. We got a different buyer and it didn't affect him. However, it's one of those things that makes sellers really not happy with you. People don't sell homes every single day. There are communication things that have to take place. There are legal circumstances, like if you've refinanced your loan. A lot of people are unaware whether or not the first mortgage that you took out was released after you refinanced it. We take care of that with our certified pre-owned home program. There could be disclosure issues, negotiating issues with the agent, bad pictures, which cause demand destruction, and closing, not managing the closing process properly. Another one is, what about showings? Do I have to be available all the time? Do I have to leave my house during showings? Well, the truth is the home seller controls that. It's their home. And we talk about that and we build the parameters out of their needs. Our goal is to make our clients so happy they're more than willing to give us a 5-star review. And that's why we offer our 6 seller satisfaction guaranteed and our certified pre-owned home program that guarantees that we're going to do the best job. So if you are thinking of making a move in the next 3 to 6 months, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She is the broker and owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of the program as well. If you are thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Or if you want that free report, top 10 questions to ask before you hire a real estate agent, visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Go to the green button in the upper right corner. It says free reports. You got it right there. When we come back, we'll be talking about the 12 steps in the house selling timeline. Stay tuned for that.